Hi everyone and welcome to the Screencast for Sunday the 28th. Hope all of you are enjoying the weather this weekend with a lack of snow and rain. It was a nice surprise. A few things to be aware of. We have on Tuesday the mile run happening. Wednesday we have a staff meeting in the media center. I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do on that, but remember to bring your computers, teachers for that. Thursday, not a lot going on there other than our PBIS meeting at the end of the day. And then our big carnival night on Friday. So lots of different things that are happening. Also be aware that we do have a lockdown that will be happening at some point this week, so be aware of that too. And no testing this week, so that's a good thing. Class lists work group. Hey, this last week I met with representatives from different grade levels, and we talked about class lists and how to make it work. One thing that came up is the use of the old cards that we used to do with a card per student, which helps for grouping. A lot of grade levels felt that was still helpful, so if you would like to do that, that is absolutely okay. The one thing that I'm going to ask is that when you are completed, that you put that information of who is in what class in that Google spreadsheet that I'll be sharing with you later this week. We talked about prioritization. How do we do that once you get those class lists? The big things were energy, the separate from, gender, and then of course academics too, but that's a little bit after the energy and separate from it appears. And I'm going to ask grade levels to do your best to try to fill those out and to fill around our SPED and EL students that you'll have. Energy, I always get asked about energy. What does that mean? How does that work? 5 is the most energy and 1 is the least challenging. So 5 is most challenging, 1 is the least challenging. Lots of different ways to interpret that, but we'll have you do the best you can on that and use that. We know that sometimes a high energy kid for one teacher is not the same as another one and vice versa, so we do our best on that. We also talked a little bit about wildcards. We can't really plan for move-ins as much. And sometimes we have kids that say they're moving and then return. Last year, when we had a kid that was not going to be here, I took them off the list. This year, we'll still say that they're moving, but we'll leave them on the list so that if we had a plan for where they want to be, I'll at least be aware of that and try to account for that a little bit better. So hopefully that part makes sense. So what are our next steps? One thing that was brought up is just having a little time to enter some of the different things, such as the separate from, the energy level, comments, things like that. So on Wednesday at our staff meeting, I'm going to ask you to bring your computers. I'll share the Google spreadsheets with you. That's when I'm going to give you time to enter that information. We're not going to be making class lists yet at that point, but just entering that information about energy level, any comments you have, separate from, making sure also that all of your students are on that list, because I worked with our district tech department, but sometimes there's a few kids missing. I know a couple people have talked to me about that already. So dates then, May 6th, that's when I'll say let's start making those class lists. At that time we'll know who is in what classes as far as special ed and EL. And when you're completed with that, you have 2 weeks to complete that. I want you to schedule a time to meet with me for 15 to 20 minutes to talk to me grade levels about your thought process, what you want me to be aware of, so that if there are move-ins or move-outs, I can at least be aware of that. So just be aware of that. Then the week of May 20th, I'm going to share the class list with specialists as another set of eyes to look at who should be with each other and to do our best with that. Grade levels, if you want to share that information with specialists too, prior to me doing that, that's absolutely okay too. We are doing our best to make those lists. The hard thing is when we only have 3 and in 5th grade 2 classes, we do our best to separate as best as we can. But sometimes there'll be some tough ones there together, but we'll do our best on that. So big picture, Wednesday we'll meet in the during our staff meeting and give you a little time to input that first thing up here, and then if you have more questions, we can definitely talk about it then. Carnival sign up. We are in desperate need of help for our carnival. We do not have as many people as we need. Staff, if you have time on Friday, I know it's a Friday, I know there's other things we'd like to do, but if you have time, I would really appreciate you helping out. It means a lot to our families and our kids, and it is one of our biggest fundraisers for our PTA, which supports all of our school. So if you're able to do that, that is great. And if you're able to make one last plug to families to volunteer also, that would be great too. The link's on there if you need that. I know it's been sent out a few times. Also, our Veep drive is finished. I have no idea if we've won or not again, but regardless of what happened, we collected a lot of food and a lot of cash. I can see I kind of messed up on here. A lot of food, a lot of cash, and that's exciting. And I know we'll share that with you when that is completed, when I have more information about that. So thank you for your help with that, and that helps our community too. Moving on, I know teachers, we talked about our PBIS and quiet room visits and behavior. The rest of our staff, paras, everyone else, I want you to be aware of this too. This shows the number of quiet room visits, average quiet room visits per day and month, and referral locations. I know there's a lot of other questions. What happens, for instance, if we pull out the top 5? What happens if, just a lot of other ways to look at that information. So I do have a list of that. I'll keep looking at that and see how we can share that out. And hopefully at our next month when we share this out, I'll be able to do a little bit more of that. So just know that we're looking at that, and we want to look at that so that we can figure out our biggest needs, so we can support our kids and help them to be in the classroom where they can learn and help it so that you guys are able to teach the best that you can. So thanks for your information on that and ideas, and we'll keep looking at that. Okay, moving on, just a couple things to be aware of. We have a week off from testing, and then we'll go on to map reading and math. And thanks again to everybody that helped to make testing go smoothly. Kathy, Allie, teachers, everyone, paras, it's a team, so thank you for your help in making testing go as smoothly as we can. And I know we have a few makeups that we'll get taken care of yet. Looking ahead, we have some upcoming events. Just looking ahead here, grading window will be open from May 24th to June 3rd. We have field day on Wednesday, May 29th. Our grading window closes on June 3rd at 8 a.m. That gives you that extra weekend for those of you that like to work on the weekend. Hopefully you won't have to work on the weekend, but if you do, it's there for that time. Moving on up, Tuesday, June 4th at 9:20. It might be 9:30, but right about that time. 5th grade ceremony on Thursday, June 6th at 9:30. And just a couple friendly reminders, please remember to put any grade level events on our school calendar so we know where people are. And if in the off chance you are not going to be having school lunch because you're doing something special, sometimes that happens, let Lisa know in the cafeteria so that she can plan. I know it's always difficult at the end of the year to plan on food. So lots of different things going on, exciting time of the year, and it'll go fast. Just kept on here the district staff development opportunities that we had on here from last time, so nothing new there. That is all I have. Have a great rest of the weekend, and see you on Monday. Take care, everyone.